All right, so we are going to talk about um, a migration that is very near and dear to all of us, and that is the migration that took place in the Rondo neighborhood. Now, that probably sounds very familiar to you because Rondo, we know, is where our school sits. It's the Rondo complex, right? Well, that comes from a much bigger story. So, the Rondo neighborhood was founded in 1835. It was named after a man, Joseph Rondo. And you can see here, the next one is better that shows it. This is the Rondo neighborhood. It's a kind of a rectangular shape. And our school sits right about here, Benjamin E. Mays. This is the state capitol you can see from off 94. The History Center is back here. Lake Como's this direction, and this would be like downtown St. Paul. Here's a close-up, and look, it's our school right in the center of the Rondo neighborhood. So Dale is here, University, Marshall, and this is the old Rondo Avenue, which has been renamed Rondo Avenue. And this is a neighborhood that stretches, you can see all these blocks. Okay, so our school is just one little block inside this bigger area. So Rondo and uncovering Rondo and talking about this forced migration is important because it really shows how unjust it is to take a whole community of people and just force them out of a neighborhood and a community that they've fostered and loved and participated in. I'm going to skip through a little bit of these. Here, this is an important slide for you to see. This is the street that runs right in front of our school, Concordia Avenue. And right beyond it is a very important highway, and that's 94. And that's kind of the star of this whole story, is that this Highway 94 didn't used to be there. And when they decided to put the highway in, they had to make a decision about where it would go. And that's kind of the point that we're going to get to with this. But I'm just going to give you some background information today. And then tomorrow I'll go more in depth with the consequences of the decision that they went with. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and tell you a little bit about Rondo. So Rondo was a neighborhood that was probably not prosperous money-wise, but very prosperous with community and family and participation and happiness. And it was a place of music and parades. And this is a woman who used to live at 222 Rondo. And she says one of her accounts of being so poor is, I remember my grandpa was playing the piano one day, and my grandma said, "We got to have wood. We're going to have to do what we don't want to do, but we're going to have to do it anyway." Well, they chopped up the piano for the wood to heat the house. So those were tough times in the winter that we had. And these are just some photographs of people who used to live in Rondo. This is Evelyn Fairbanks. She lived at 532 St. Anthony Avenue. This is another person who said Rondo was really run down, very, very poor, very rich, run down, but very, very rich. And what do you think they mean by very rich? I touched on it briefly, but it was a neighborhood that was poor, but had a lot of things about it that made it rich. So I want you to think about today, and this is going to be where we end the mini lesson. And I want you to answer this question: what makes a place important? So all the interviews that have been done show that that Rondo was a very important place 70 years ago because it brought a lot of people connection and joy with community and family, and it was a happy, happy place. So what do those photographs, what do stories tell us about this place? Well, they tell us that it was a really important, happy, meaningful place. And I'm going to challenge you to think about what makes a place meaningful. What makes it important? What does it need to have to be important? And so that's going to be where we end today. And I'm going to challenge you in the discussion to answer this question: what makes a place important to you? And that's where we'll end it for today.